All right, you're not going to see this one coming because this is a video by someone by the name of Nikos. That is the death of the side mode. Now, you may notice under here that they tag Halo. So they're going to be talking about zombies, Halo, which is like how I got into Call of Duty altogether. But there's something, and before I get into the video, when they say side modes here, there is something that I truly believe should be in Black Ops 6 that isn't, that I want you guys to guess down in the comments. And probably by about halfway through the video, I will tell you guys, and then we can look at it from that angle moving forward throughout the rest of the video. But before we get into the video, what side mode should be in Black Ops 6 that is nowhere to be seen? Now let's see what the video is about.
What happened to Call of Duty Zombies?
I mean, it's still
What's
there.
missing most from modern video games is perhaps the side modes. You know, the arcade mini games, map editors, instant replays, wave defenses.
So, I wonder where he's going with this, because technically, things are downloaded on my computer and making noises, but no, technically, we have like side mode still. Like we have zombies in Call of Duty. The year before that, we have co-op. We have so I'm curious where he's going with this, because they're still there, at least in Call of Duty.
I love that sound.
We had raids in Modern Warfare 2. But they're a lot
Back in the 2000s
more
and
complete
2010s,
now?
we came to expect the AAA blockbuster franchises to not just deliver solid single-player stories and online multiplayer, but also implement these special side modes and bonuses. These went beyond simple gimmicks. They were fully fleshed out and even saw levels of care that allowed them to blow up into a very
Halo is a whole
popular
different animal
experiences
because of like the
that
community
rivaled
support.
the popularity of the main parts of the game. It just started to become expected that a main menu would be flushed out with tons of extra options on new, diverse ways to play the game. These modes were insanely popular. So what happened? Why is the side mode so rare? And when side modes do make a return today,
Are they rare?
why do they never live up to the hype?
I'm curious where he's going with this, because
He said,
I thought where he was gonna go with this video is that the sides modes were like becoming extinct because they're now just main modes. That's what I thought he was going with this, but because they're expected, right, at this point.
Halo and Call of Duty were huge. Both these bombastic, hugely successful
COD still
shooters
is.
were packed full of love and attention. Easter eggs and bonuses littered
There
these
it
games,
is.
but it was a little mode in
That's the answer from before. Dead Ops Arcade. There is no Dead Ops Arcade in Black Ops 6. None.
Halo 3 that changed the franchise forever. Forge, a limited map editor, which allowed players to hop into a
This is
lobby
huge.
and
Like,
edit maps
this
with their
back in the
friends.
day-
I probably logged
this
more
back
hours
in
into
the
Forge
day-
than campaign in Halo 3.
Like, wild.
It was a chill editor
And then-
to just mess around
And then they would take the things that people would make in Forged and then create game modes out of them that everyone could play. And like, this was so far ahead of its time, and really in a first-person shooter, I don't think anything's been done like this. And Battlefield tried.
whenever I wasn't
Years
in the mood
later.
to replay the campaign or sweat in multiplayer, but still wanted to play Halo. This map editor was accompanied by a new theater mode, a way to watch previous games, take screenshots.
By the way,
and
theater
capture
mode
replays.
still doesn't work in Black Ops
Wrapping
6.
all this together was the new file share system. This was basically Halo's social media page. Yeah, Halo pioneered social media before it took off. We had Twitter, Pinterest, and for some, Tinder.
Looking for emo girl to be my girlfriend. I didn't know that this was part of the community.
Halo exemplified these more creative types of side modes. But Halo didn't necessarily invent these modes. Other genres dabbled in them as well. Racing games often included replay modes, similar to Halo 3's theater. I specifically remember watching my races and crash matches in Burnout Revenge.
I was gonna say,
an
is that
instant
Burnout that he's
replay
playing?
mode dated before AAA shooters made their own interpretations. These little modes made it easy for anyone to share content around their favorite games and added new ways to enjoy them. Then came the PvE modes, including wave defense, survival, and horde modes.
Yeah, that was
These
the
were
thing a
great
lot
to
of
just
shooters
kick back
did.
on the couch with friends and family as you mercilessly slaughter thousands of virtual enemies. Rainbow Six Vegas' terrorist hunt mode is iconic. You and your co-op partner team up to eliminate the dumbest bad guy NPCs known to man in a breach and clear fest of tactics and
here
throwing
they come.
C4 at rappel ropes and ladders. Seriously, the enemies in this game were dumb.
Got him. Got him. Well, they're piling up. That's awesome. Easiest way to eliminate them. Just keep them coming.
Set, start. Tough luck on.
Then came Halo's Firefight mode. Firefight was a great way to repackage the Covenant enemies from the campaign
God, I forgot about this.
that were already enjoyable to fight against. Couple this with limited equipment and an ever-shrinking respawn counter, and Firefight became a great avenue for more laid-back gameplay, split screen, or online, where you would team up with the
This
same
was a part of my brain where if I never saw this video, I would have never thought of this. This is so weird.
players you normally were pitted against in matchmaking. Then came Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. No, not you, you're terrible.
We're
Spec
talking about-
Ops.
yeah, Spec
This
Ops.
provided a series of side challenges and mini-games based off levels from the single player. There were multiple wave
Worst
defense
version of zombies, if you ask me. And then I was gonna say Modern Warfare 3. People, there's like this set community of people who loved survival in Modern Warfare 3, and I always thought it was crap compared to zombies. And like, I don't know, I feel like completely alone in that one. Like there's definitely a good chunk of people who loved it. What are you in? Like,
modes, as well as a straight-up racing minigame. Yeah,
This
there
was
was
fun.
something genuinely special about being able to kick it back and couch co-op with a friend or family member, holding on for
and
dear
it was interesting because you'd beat the campaign and then you have like a bunch of these side missions that were like a part of the campaign but not a part of the
life
campaign.
against waves of digital Russian soldiers and a Virginia suburban Burger King. Spec Ops appealed to every American's power fantasy of living out their Red Dawn, commie slaughtering fantasies. Come to think of it, I think Modern Warfare 2 is American propaganda.
Huh.
Well, I guess propaganda is one of my favorite games of all time. These wave defense style modes felt like a treat when they were packaged with our favorite games, and because of this, they became extremely popular. But we've yet to mention perhaps the biggest wave defense mode of the mid-2010s.
Zombies. I will never forget the first time that I saw this. Not knowing that this mode existed and finishing the campaign and being like, what this didn't happen in World War II?
The shock from players upon finishing the
Yeah.
grittiest and most disturbing Call of Duty story to date before being whiplashed into a horror
is it?
survival arcade mode is something
The
I
new
wish I
World
could have
War II might
experienced
be
myself.
more
Though I
disturbing,
did play
honestly.
it back then, I kind of already spoiled it and knew it was in the game before finishing the story. Nazi zombies. This wave defense mode wasn't meant to be much at first. The characters, generic Marines. The round end music, reused from a song played in campaign. The map, recycled from a story mission. Features, bare bones. A spooky horror theme with arcade gameplay and economy, purchasable weapons, buyable doors, and most importantly, gambling.
Let's go gambling!
Okay, let's be real, the reason Zombies is so successful is because of the mystery box. Let's face it, gambling is awesome. The dopamine rush of
Interesting take. The mystery box before Cold War was a much bigger part of the game than it is now. And then like eventually there was like weapon Easter egg quests and things like that. But like back in the day, it was just like you roll, you try to get that ray gun.
pulling a ray gun from the box was unparalleled. This zombie gore fest was not expected to be much more than a secret bonus level after campaign was completed, kind of like a little reward for beating this story. What wasn't expected is how popular it quickly became. Players straight up loved zombies because, that's right, say it with me, gambling. Well, not just that, but also the power-ups, the strategy, risk-reward gameplay, and the World War II theme chock full of all our favorite weapons. The modes saw ambitious new maps thrown in with new
Quickly.
features, including perks, traps, and more terrifying themes, which all could be yours for little microtransactions in the DLC store. But zombies hit peak popularity in subsequent releases. Black Ops followed up on Nazi Zombies
When was this video made? before Black Ops 6, but zombies must have been announced at this point.
Success, but with more
It's like
ambition. Often forgotten was
5
the
months ago,
secret
so
cheat
yeah.
code you had to type into the terminal
Here it is.
to unlock the Dead Ops
Yeah.
Arcade, which is a fully fledged top-down twin-stick shooter arcade zombies mode that they threw in for some reason. Either way, it's pretty sick. It's cool that it's here. Treyarch amplified this even further by bringing former presidents John F. Kennedy and Nixon back from the dead to reprise their roles in
Yet
a new
no one likes
zombies
this
map
map.
unlocked after campaign completion.
Sounds like someone breaking in.
Just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
Speaking of innovation, Halo's staple side mode saw evolution in the sequels as well. Massively improved capabilities in the monster of a map called Forge World, PvP firefight modes where one player fights alongside the Covenant, and more. Reach upped the ante as other franchises struggled to keep up with a similar volume of content. Some side modes were so beloved that they even debuted in standalone games. Call of Duty Zombies became a mobile game series that I recall playing on my garbage iPod Touch 4.
I don't remember that.
You remember the iPod Touch? Yes, I'm that old. Perhaps the best example of this is Geometry Wars. This started out as an arcade cabinet minigame in the Project Gotham racing series. I've never even heard of this racing game. This abstract
But I've heard of Geometry Wars.
slaughtering Seizure Fest was so addictive, it became a standalone series of games that outlived its original
Seizure Fest.
franchise.
That's a pretty good description.
The
of it.
minigame was ripped from the game and sold on the Xbox Live Marketplace during the 360 days, and soon Gotham Racing's last release was in 2009, while Geometry Wars' last release launched in 2016. So if these modes were so popular and successful, where did they go?
But like here's the thing though, is I think like a lot of games still have these. Like a lot of games like have like little mini games. Like look at like some open world games, like even go like let's go to something less popular like Watch Dogs. Did Watch Dogs not have like darts or like little games like that? Witcher has Gwent. Like there's a lot of these, and like a lot of the times, yeah, they do get spun off into full games. Like Gwent, for example.
You already know the story by now. It's when an art form goes from niche innovation to mainstream.
Okay.
Corporate
So,
interests
yeah,
take
okay, he
over to
was going
squeeze
with that.
dollars out of the average consumer, most of which are not interested enough to go outside of the AAA industry and take a gamble on indie games and other competing products. There's a growing sense of it is what it is, with players grumbling as they buy this year's slop begrudgingly. This is what I like to call the gamer slop effect, the remarkable trend in the gaming industry of a loss of artistic integrity and quality in return for maximum profits. As you know, netcodes and video game servers are pretty terrible nowadays. Now you mix that with soulless cross promos, aggressive monetization, and finally, the cutting of and severe lack in quality of side modes, and you have the modern gaming market. We saw this in modern Halo, where the team focused on scraping together half-baked games, sacrificing community modes, and cutting Forge at launch. And the last
Yeah, that's the cutting of the forges. It's
8 years of Halo releases. Call of Duty chased after the Minecraft Hunger Games craze completely, where in one instance they cut the
Battle
campaign
Royale?
from the game
Yeah.
and slashed the budget of the Zombies team significantly, resulting
yeah that. I have a video coming out on that.
in
Let's
a
just say
dismal,
that.
shoddy ending.
Might
for
actually
the
be coming out
Zombies
today when this video
storyline.
goes live.
And the latest Zombies release was absolute trash, being forced and crammed into the Battle Royale map. Thanks, Infinity Ward. You really went the extra mile with this one. These seem to be publisher-level decisions, as many of the veteran developers and management behind our favorite games have since moved on to other projects or retired completely. I would argue this is probably the biggest catalyst of the death of the side mode, the loss of the pioneering devs that used to head up these studios. Now these studios have a severe lack of talent and are under the iron will of their publishing companies, which usually make absolutely mind-boggling decisions. Treyarch lost Jason Blundell, who headed up the Zombies mode.
That was a while ago.
Halo lost the Bungie management team, which forced this new, inexperienced team to work on Halo and release half-baked
Again,
rushed
long
games.
time ago.
The Modern Warfare series suffered after the loss of Infinity Ward's top executives, who in turn went on to create Titanfall after frustration dealing with
So a lot of people don't know this, but after like when Modern Warfare 2019 came out, a lot of these devs that went to like the Titanfall studio Respawn came back. Like a lot of people don't know that. Like when I went to go see Modern Warfare 2019 early, I would say around half of the people that were talking to us were from the original Modern Warfare team.
Activision. Other development studios met similar fates. Key members of the gaming industry parted ways with their companies to start new projects and escape their publishers. Without these veteran devs, modern AAA games have become completely aimless. But hey, if you miss zombies, pick up Black Ops 3 on Steam and run one of the thousands of custom modded maps with friends. Missing new Halo experiences? Well, the Master Chief Collection is fairly affordable and has a huge modding community. And if old games aren't your thing, give indie gaming a chance. You won't be disappointed. Like and sub if you enjoyed. As always.
So again, I don't think I feel as though the side mode is dead, right? Like I feel like a lot of the old side modes have now became full-fledged modes like zombies. We are missing Dead Ops Arcade, and I feel like when it comes to Halo, yeah, you just might be right on that one. Like I don't think people realize like one that I remember from back in the days, Griffball. I believe it was Rooster Teeth that came up with that, but it just became like a mode that was there every weekend. And like things like that don't really exist. And I would love if Call of Duty had like a map creator, things like that. But you have to acknowledge, I think there are like in RPGs, they have card games, things like that, that eventually spin off and become their own games. But eventually, if it's a good side mode, it will become its own game. And I think that's more so the part that he doesn't like. Everything is a cash grab. There's no creation of a side mode just for fun, at least very often anymore. And that's just the way of the world. Everything's about money, about making money, and what can you do?